You're watching Drink This Tonight, and tonight we're looking at great gifts for cocktail lovers. For all the cocktail lovers in your life, we've put together a selection of gifts that are sure to please, whether enhancing a home bar or serving as a source of inspiration. These gifts are not only useful, but also a lot of fun. Now, I just wanted to say we aren't affiliated with any of the brands featured in this video, but we recommend them based on personal experience. Bitters. Bitters are like the spice of the cocktail world. There's tons of variety and you can't really go wrong. Now, some of the more popular varieties like Angostura bitters or orange bitters are pretty well known. But nowadays, there's lots of companies doing artisanal bitters, such as, for example, Fee Brothers, which makes this whiskey barrel-aged bitters, which is a really cool twist on a traditional aromatic bitters. One of my other favorite brands is Bittermans. They do a selection of really interesting bitters. This, for example, is their Tiki bitters, which has some really cool tropical spice notes to it. I also recently tried El Guapo, which does a Tiki-style bitters as well. Anyway, find something that looks interesting and pick it up. In your area, there might even be a local bitters producer. It's great to support the local economy and people who make bitters. I'll also put links down in the description so you can find places to buy it on Amazon or something like that. Tiki mugs. Tiki mugs look really cool, especially up on a mantle, and they make great conversation pieces. I got this one at a local tiki bar called Smuggler's Cove here in San Francisco. They have a drink where you can buy it and actually take the mug home with you, which is fairly common at tiki bars. If you don't have a tiki bar nearby you, that's fine too. You can get some online. I got a set of these guys from CB2. They weren't too expensive, so you can pick a pair up like that. On the other hand, you can look on places like eBay, where you can find really cool vintage tiki mugs, although they can also be expensive, but you never know what you might find. On the topic of glassware, they make really good gifts. You can get something that you know they don't have. For example, I got these Moscow Mule mugs as a gift. Or you can get something that you know they do have, but with a unique twist. For example, I really like these rocks glasses that have anchors on them. Obviously, if your friend or loved one doesn't have a cocktail shaker already, that makes a great gift. But most people will if they're into cocktails. That said, you can find really cool looking decorative shakers like this one with a rabbit on it. I think we got it at Anthropologie. It's probably not on sale anymore, but you can find stuff like this pretty much everywhere. They don't actually make great shakers, the three-piece ones, because they tend to get stuck together, but they do look really cool. It goes without saying that books make great gifts. There's dozens upon dozens of great cocktail books out there, but here are some of my favorites. Bitters by Brad Thomas Parsons. This book is great if you're at all interested in bitters. It has all of the history, a lot of recipes that utilize bitters, and some really great instructions on how to make your own bitters. So if your friend or loved one is really into DIY type projects, this is a great book. However, I'll warn you, some of the recipes are fairly complicated. I enjoy it because it's almost like a treasure hunt where you have to go out and find all the different ingredients. It's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy making my own bitters now that I've read this book. The 12 Bottle Bar by David and Leslie Jacobs Solemson. If your friend or loved one is just getting into cocktails and they want to build out their home bar, this is a really good guide because it tells you basically all you need is 12 bottles in order to get started. We've done a video about our 12 bottles that we recommend, but this book has lots of great recipes as well. Smuggler's Cove by Martin and Rebecca Cate. I've mentioned Smuggler's Cove earlier when I was talking about my tiki mug, but I have to say, this is probably my favorite book of 2016 so far. It has loads of great tiki recipes, and it's a really good introduction into the tiki lore and the tiki practice of making exotic cocktails. I go to this book constantly when I'm looking for inspiration, and it's really fun to make these recipes, and they're really impressive. Some of them are a little bit on the complicated side, but with a little bit of preparation, they're really not that bad. The Savoy Cocktail Book. Known by some as the Bartender's Bible, this book catalogs over 80 years of history at the Savoy Hotel in London. There's 750 recipes in here. Now, there's no frills, no prose at all, it's just recipes. But if you go digging, you can find some real gems. Death & Co. Modern Classic Cocktails. This comes from the bar by the same name in New York City, and it's by David Kaplan, Nick Fouchald, and Alex Day. This book is good, especially for new bartenders, because it has a lot of instructional information about the mechanics of actually making drinks and the mechanics of coming up with your own original recipes. I find those to be really valuable sections in this book. Not only that, but it has probably my favorite selection of various recipes, and they have it cataloged really nicely too. They have it by base spirit, they have it by type of drink. You can really find anything you want in here. Highly recommend it. Obscure alcohols. So obviously buying alcohol for somebody who loves alcohol is usually going to make a great drink, but personally I really like it when I get crazy exotic liqueurs or amari that I haven't really worked with before. Liquor 43 is an example. I picked this up on my own because I needed it for a recipe, but if I got this as a gift, that would be really cool. Last but not least, we have cocktail knickknacks, and this is one I wanted to showcase. I have some mixology dice here. Now honestly, I don't use these too often, but they're actually a lot of fun. What you do is you take one of the formulas from the little handbook they have here, and they tell you which dice to pick. And it's usually like 3 or 4 dice, and you roll it, and then it tells you what you should use as your ingredients. For example, whiskey, jam, and mint. So come up with a cocktail that includes those 3 things. The next time you're looking for a gift for your cocktail lover friends, maybe this will give you some inspiration. I think there's a lot of great ideas here. But if I'm leaving anything out, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what gifts you've given or received in the past. Anyway, if you liked the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Remember to drink responsibly.